Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Monir El Azzouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we'll have the April review. So we'll check what happened last month and what will happen in future. But first, I wanted just to wish you all, I hope you had a happy Easter with a lot of chocolates and everything. So I hope you have spent a lot of time with your family. Okay, so now what is happening on the news? So one of the hot news is about the countdown. So how many days are remaining until the application of EU MDR? So a minimum, I will say a minimum because we never know, a minimum of 50 days. So we have a minimum of 50 days from now until the 26th of May 2021. So what does it mean? It means that for all manufacturers that have a class 1 device, you have 50 days before you can place your device on the market under EU MDR. So 50 days so that you have everything cleared, your quality management system, your technical file, and that you are also issuing your new declaration of conformity with the EU MDR on it. Then if you are class 1 up classified product, you have 50 days, if I can say, to confirm that your product is class 1 under EU MDD and to have it placed on the market before the date of application, so that you have a declaration of conformity under MDD before date of application, so that you can then benefit from a transition period until the 26th of May 2024. If you are a custom-made device class 3, you have also until the 26th of May 2021, you have still 50 days so that you are having a notified body that is reviewing your quality management system and that you can have it available. So this is mainly the situation for you and for the others, mainly if you have already a certificate that is valid under MDD, then you can benefit from a longer transition period. So don't hesitate here to really focus on that and to work on it, because it's really, I think, something important for you. But also something that is important, even if you are compliant then to MDD and still benefit of a transition period, you still have some requirements to follow. Mainly, you have to follow the EU MDR vigilance reporting, you have to follow the EU MDR PMS procedures, you have to follow, the competent authority has also to execute all what is mentioned on the market surveillance chapters, and you have also to register your economic operators and devices when, because I say when, EU DAMED will be fully applicable. So this is important. And something also that we talked also on the previous podcasts, if you have a significant change during that period, that transition period between the 26th of May 2021 until the 26th of May 2024, then this significant change can completely stop your transition. You have then, as soon as you apply this significant change, you have to apply the EU MDR. So it's why you have really to plan for it. So it's not like something that you have just to guess, oh, will we have a change or not? No, you have really to plan for this kind of thing. So I hope this is fine for you. Then if you have any question, let me know and I will try to answer to them. But I have made a video where I explain all this transition period, so if you want, you can go and look at it. Okay, next is the MDCG planning. So mainly we have this due date that is coming, but MDCG is still issuing a lot of guidances, and there is now a planning that is issued just to explain to us what are the new guidances that will come. So I focus specifically on the one from Q2, so quarter 2 2021, and also the ones that were late. And actually we have, it's planned to have some guidances on notified bodies again, on standardization, on post-marketing surveillance. So we're waiting for that, for the one for PSUR, so periodic safety update report, and vigilance requirements also. There is the market surveillance, as I've told you, that should also be applicable. We will have the update of the PRRC guidance. We'll have a guidance on authorized representative, relabeling and repackaging. And we have some guidances that were late. The one is late, which is about new technology. So legal status of applications, application providers. So many, if you are manufacturing some mobile application, I suppose, then what is your legal status about that? So it was planned in 2020 and we are still late. And the other ones that are late is about the nomenclature. So before, if we knew before, if I can say, we were using the GMDN code as a nomenclature. Now we'll use the new nomenclature, which is CND, an Italian one, and they will convert that to another vocabulary, which is called EMDN, so European Medical Device Nomenclature. This is something that was also planned and is a bit late, but yeah, we'll have more information about that, and we'll talk more about some of those elements or some other guidances that are already issued this month on the next segment. So. But yeah, you can go on the show notes and you will see the planning and all the information that are mentioned on it. You can see also what other guidances are planned for maybe 2022 or later, so that you have also a better understanding of what is coming. Okay, next topic is about Swixit. So we talked about Swixit before, about the fact that there is a possibility that there will be a Swixit under EU MDR. Because there is no mutual recognition agreement updated for EU MDR, so mentioning that Switzerland can apply EU MDR and there is a negotiation. There is this agreement under MRF for the EU MDD, but nothing for the EU MDR. And we said also that Turkey is on the same situation. So what happened is the fact that on the Team NB website, there was a message that was posted from DG Santé that is saying specifically that there is some kind of negotiation ongoing regarding Swixit. And one of the things is saying that an amendment is actually in preparation, so that all existing medical devices under the Swiss law, if I can say approved under the Swiss law, can benefit from the same transition period as the medical devices under MDD. But there is not so much information on this communication because mainly it's saying that if you have a certificate that is valid under MDD, then you can continue to sell your devices on the market until the expiration of the certificate. But here, for example, we are not talking about class 1 devices. Do they benefit also from this transition period, the same transition period? Can they be placed on the market there also as MDD, as MDR also or not? This is mainly a lot of questions that are still remaining, but this message is saying mainly that we have some proposals, some amendments that are coming, so which is a good news for Switzerland. But we still have no information about the situation with Turkey. So it's also what we talked about on the previous podcast about Turkzit, so mainly that. So if you want to see the message, I will put also the show note I put the message on the show notes so that you can look at it and interpret also what it's saying. But apparently it says only for existing devices under the Swiss law. So mainly you can interpret a lot of things out of this message. But I think it's a good move, but we'll see if there is still the possibility that we have a Swixit or not by the 26th of May 2021. Okay. So you see that there is a lot of things that are ongoing related to the EU MDR, related also to EU IVDR. So I hope you are able to meet your requirements. If you need some support, so Easy Medical Device, we can help you. So Easy Medical Device is not only a podcast or a blog or making some videos on YouTube. We are helping manufacturers by helping them to create all the documentation and to place the devices on the market compliantly, helping them also regarding maybe some notified body issues. So we are also having some customers that contact us when they have a report from notified body and they have to make some changes, so then we can help them also. We are also helping in terms of training, so we have the Green Belt certificate for EU MDR. The next section is April 26th, so if you want to register, so go to school.easymedicaldevice.com and try to register for the next session. We are also doing some coaching, so we have also a lot of companies that want to do it by themselves, but they just need maybe guidance. So we are also doing some coaching for them. So we are not executing and writing the documentation, but doing just the coaching with them. And lastly, we are also doing the representation in Europe as EU representative and in the UK, because we have also an office in the UK for due to Brexit. So don't hesitate to contact us if you have any question or any demand. We will be really happy to help you on that. Okay, so now what is the notified body situation? So sorry to say to you that there is no new notified body that was issued, that was accredited in last month or in March. So mainly we have still 19 notified bodies under EU MDR and 4 notified bodies under EU IVDR. And we have received also the notified body overview, so mainly the situation about the registration of notified bodies. And actually, so we have 51 applications for MDR, 14 applications for IVDR. And actually on the final stage, we have around 21 notified bodies that, 21 means 19 minus 2, which is then 2 notified bodies that are in progress to be released as a notified body under MDR, and nothing more under IVDR. So we will talk maybe about that later on the podcast episode that I have made. But actually, there is really a lot of IVD manufacturers that will need notified bodies, and this will be really something that will be missing. So we hope really that there will be more notified bodies for IVD manufacturers, because we have now 1 year plus 50 days, if I can say, for them to be compliant to the IVDR regulation. So don't hesitate also to contact me if you have any question about IVDR. We can really also try to help you on that. I will try also to make more podcast episodes on IVDR. So it's also something that I'm working on now. I have more people that are joining, that are accepting to be interviewed on IVDR. So I will include them on the podcast as soon as possible. Under UK, so as I said, we are also tracking the UK approved bodies, because now you will need a UK approved body for having your product under UKCA, which is the new regulation that will be applicable by the 30th of June 2023 if your product are CE marked. And there is still three approved bodies, that are under the UK market, so SGS, BSI, and UL. So yeah, this is something that maybe will also increase in future, but yeah, we have still some time, if I can say, for that. Okay, so now let's go through the guidances. So there are guidances that were issued. We'll talk about three main documents. The first document is the SAMD guidance or documentation that was issued by the EU Commission. So this documentation is mainly just a simplification. There is a flow chart explaining to you what is software as a medical device. If your product is a software as a medical device, so it gives you a lot of question and answer, a flow chart that you can go through and answer, which is really interesting. But it's mainly also what is published on the MDCG guidance 2019-11, which is explaining also in more detail this flow chart. But if we want to go through this flow chart, so let's go quickly through it. So first, you have the first step to define if your product is a software. So you have a definition of a software on the MDCG guidance 2019-11. So you have to first define that. If it is a software, then it can maybe be covered by this regulation, by this guidance, by the EU MDR. If it is not, then you are already excluding your product from the medical device regulation for software. Then the next step is your software part of the MDR Annex 16 or an accessory or a software that is influencing an hardware medical device, so mainly. And then if you say yes, then your product is a software as a medical device and it is then covered under the EU MDR. If no, then you move to the next question. Is the software performing an action on data different from storage, archival, communication, or simple search? So you have then to make this evaluation. If it is yes, then you can move to the next question. If it is no, then it's not covered under EU MDR. Is the action for the benefit of individual patients? So are you having just an action for the software for one patient only? Yes, then you can move to the next step. No, then you can say it's not covered. If it is software that is under the definition of a medical device software. So yeah, you have two definitions. You have the definition of a software and you have the definition of a medical device software under the guidance, on the guidance. So you have then to check both definitions if they are applicable. If yes, then yes, it is covered. If no, then it's not covered. And you have a second flow chart, because now you define, yes, my device is a medical device software, but is it a medical device or an in vitro diagnostic software. Then you have the second flowchart that is taking that. So it's the same. You go through each question one by one, and at the end you define if it's no, then it's still covered under the MDR. If it is yes, then it's covered under the IVDR. So I think it can be really a good document to help you really sort out your question. I have a lot of manufacturers that I'm working with that have always those questions: is my product is my software a medical device or not? And this, I think, can help them really to understand what is or not a medical device. So this document is also on the show notes, so don't hesitate to go on the show notes and that you can find this flow chart, which will really help you, if I can say, to sort out your question about if your product is a software as a medical device or not. Okay, the next guidance we want to talk about is the MDCG 2021-2, which is the guidance on state-of-the-art of COVID-19 rapid antibody test. So mainly it is a specific standard, specific guidance on rapid antibody testing, the COVID-19 rapid antibody test, which is interesting because as I worked on some of those products, because of COVID, a lot of manufacturers are trying to sell those devices on the market, and when you are making an assessment, there is a lot of information that are missing. And what is good on this guidance is that it says it's recommending really some of the parameters. It's saying your parameter should be like that or that. For example, it says specifically you have to have an intended purpose that is available on the product. It's not always the case. You have also to have some performance information, so like analytical and diagnostic sensitivity, analytical and diagnostic specificity, accuracy, repeatability, reproducibility. So this is things that are important, if I can say, to define if your device is performant or not. And for example, it gives some numbers. It says that for sensitivity and specificity, you should have around, it's not saying around, it says 200 samples, so you should have 200 samples. For diagnostic performance, for example, the diagnostic sensitivity should be at least at 90%, the diagnostic specificity should be at least at 98%, and the confidence interval should be at least at 98% also. So these are numbers that can be important because as a regulator, as soon as I'm reviewing a dossier, if I don't find those numbers, I will have to justify why this is still acceptable or not, and maybe this can be also rejected by some countries. This is important also because here what we are talking with this guidance is still about the 9879 EC or so, what are the requirements on that. So this is something that will be maybe a bit different under the IVDR, because under the IVDR you will have also to have a notified body that is reviewing this kind of product, because there will be not anymore self-certified. This will need a notified body. So go on the show notes and you will see also this MDCG guidance with all the information that we will talk about today. If you are manufacturing custom-made devices, then the EU Commission, the MDCG group, so issued the MDCG 2021-3, which is questions and answers about custom-made devices. I think it's a good document because it clarifies a lot of things between a custom-made device, an adaptable medical device, or a patient-matched device. So this is really good terms that were used because even me, when we are looking at some device, we are asking, is this really a custom-made, or it's just an adaptable device, or it's just a matching device, like by chance you match the right person for that, etc. So this is providing also some examples of what is a real custom-made device, what is an adaptable device, what is a patient-matched device. And it's also providing information about class 3 implantables. As I've said at the beginning, class 3 implantables we need now a notified body for their quality management system. So it says, for example, that the quality management system certificate should be registered in UDAMED, but there is no need of UDI for class 3 implantables. There is no need of SSCP also. And for the post-marketing surveillance, they have to do the same as a normal device. So they have to execute the post-marketing surveillance similar to any other devices. So it's important because manufacturers of class 3 implantable custom-made devices before didn't need a notified body, and now they need one. So if you are manufacturing those kind of device, and maybe you are not aware now that you need a notified body, it's important that you are really moving forward quickly, because notified bodies are really busy. So if you can have a date now for your audit, then it will be really helping you a lot. But if you are having custom-made class 2A, class 2B devices, you don't need that. You still need to have the same process as before, but following now the EU MDR requirements. Okay, so now what happened at Easy Medical Device? So on the podcast, we had a few podcasts that were really interesting. The first one with the independent importer. So we had Edgar Castile from MedEnvoy, which explained to us the role of an importer, and what is the model that MedEnvoy is using as independent importer. So it means an importer that is just checking the products remotely, and then it never touches the product. So the product is going directly to the distributor. So it means that you don't change your supply chain for placing this device on the market. You just have to go through this independent importer, which is also a good model. Then we had the episode 119, where we talked with Eric Volbrecht about a system and procedure pack. This was also an interesting episode because we made some examples of what is a system pack, what is a procedure pack, and what are the rules that should apply to that. So Eric was really showing us also a box. He created his own box, Axon Lawyer box, where he mentioned what is inside, like with a stapler, with this and that. So a combination of many products inside the box that are independent, that are not working together, is a procedure pack. Then if they are working together, if the components that are placed in the same box are working together, then it is a system pack. So this is something that was really important. So if you are having or manufacturing some procedure or system pack, then this episode will really help you to understand what are the new requirements with the EU MDR. Then episode 120, so I have made a presentation within the MDR and IVDR summit with Greenlight Guru, and there was a lot of questions on my presentation, and my presentation was mainly how to create a label under MDR and IVDR. So mainly the objective was to present to you the rules for creation of a label, and then what are the symbols, what is a label without a symbol. And there was a lot of questions, so instead of just answering to each of the people one by one, I decided to make a podcast episode where I answer to all those questions on the labels. So I think it will be also interesting for you if you have maybe some question on labels. These are the same question that maybe you are asking yourself, so you can go to this episode, so 120, where I'm talking specifically about labels under MDR and IVDR. Then, and episode 121, this was the last episode, we talked about the difficulty of IVD manufacturers. So as I've said to you, so first, there is not a lot of notified bodies. And the problem is the fact that one rule, so the fact that we changed the way to classify in vitro diagnostic devices, made it not more difficult, but made it upgrading, if I can say, those manufacturers from a self-certification to a notified body certification. So it means that before there was only 15% of the manufacturers that needed a notified body to place their device on the market. Now it will be the inverse, like 75% need that, 85-75% need that, and the rest doesn't need, will be self-certified. And this is really a big challenge for the IVD manufacturers because a lot of them never had a notified body audit, so they don't know how to execute that. They never had to have their documentation reviewed. So this is something that can be a lot of challenge for them. So it's why I asked you really to start now to be compliant to this regulation. So don't hesitate to contact Easy Medical Device, and we will try really to help you on your journey. And then we had also some LinkedIn lives. So we had two LinkedIn lives that were the first one on UDAMED with Richard Julian, where he explained to us how the legacy devices can be registered on UDAMED, because we had a guidance from the European Commission that says that now you have to have kind of a UDI number, and if you don't have a UDI number, then you have to create your UDAMED DI or UDAMED ID number. And we explained to you on this video with Richard Julian from udamed.eu how to create that. So Richard has also created a template that you can download for free, where you can create your own legacy device tracker, so UDI number, because you need that in case of any vigilance reporting during this transition period, so between the 26th of May 2021 and the 26th of May 2024, if you have any vigilance reporting of your NDD device, then you still have to register this device on the UDAMED database, and you have also to have a UDI number. And if you don't have, then this will help you to create your UDI number. And the second live was with Sylvia Reingart from GS1, where we helped you to create your UDI number for the companies that are still not having a UDI number, so under MDR. So Sylvia just showed us some examples for creation of a UDI DI and for creation of a basic UDI DI. So this is something that every manufacturers will have to do under EU MDR, and if you don't know how to do that, then this video will show you everything. So I hope really that this will be helping you. So don't hesitate to go on the show notes. All the links for all the videos or all the elements that we talked about today will be mentioned inside. Okay, so thank you very much for following me on this episode. I hope really it helps you. Don't hesitate to go on the YouTube channel and just put a like or put a comment. Don't hesitate also to go to the page of the podcast. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask this question. I will try to answer to you. And if you need any information or any support for your project, don't hesitate to contact me at info@easymedicaldevice.com. info@easymedicaldevice.com. Okay, I thank you very much. I wish you a nice day.